M accuses me of stealing my own car keys. This happened yesterday, and yes, it was as stupid as it sounds. So, for some quick context, I'm a cleaner at a private school. It costs something like £25k a year to send your kid here, so you can imagine the amount of rich, entitled BS that goes on. You already know who M and me are, so let's get into it. It's 4 PM, and I've been at work for an hour just getting on with what I'm doing, and the M comes storming into the classroom I'm cleaning. M, you need to move your car. Me, what? Why? M, speaking very slowly and loudly for some reason. YOUNEEDTOMOVEYOURCAR. Me, copying her tone. NOIDONT. M, does some confused blinking. Why are you talking like that? Me, because you were. M, ugh, whatever, just move your stupid car. It's blocking me, and I have an appointment. Me, lady, my car isn't blocking you. I'm parked along the back row, by a hedge, blocking nobody. M, you're lying. Come and move your car right now. This goes on for about 5 minutes, and eventually I figure she won't shut up, unless I do something. Me, look, if I prove that my car isn't the one blocking you, will you get out of my face? M, finally, just move the stupid thing, so I can go. So I go get my keys from the cupboard, where my stuff is, impractically glued to my shoulder the whole time, go to the car park, press the button on my key, and the lights blink on my beat up Fiat in the corner. Me, see, my car. Right there, not blocking anyone. Thinking that's the end of it, I turned to go back to my job, and she started screaming behind me. M, you stole those keys. That's not your car is in front of mine. Get your keys right now and move it. Me, okay, which car do you think is mine? I figured if it's a staff member's car, I could direct the crazy bitch to them. She marched over to a Range Rover, presumably hers, which was blocked in by a brand new Porsche, a brand new freaking Porsche, and glared at me. I must have stared at her for at least 10 seconds before I started laughing my ass off. Me, lady, if you think I could afford that car on a part-time cleaning job, you must be delusional. She then started yelling about how I'm deliberately stopping her leaving, and she's going to have my car towed, but I just walked away. I don't get paid enough to deal with that crap. I have no idea what happened after that, but I really hope the Porsche driver didn't leave for another few hours, just to stick it to her. Entitled Mom Tries to Steal My Baby Gets What She Deserves. M. TLDR. Entitled Mom Tries to Steal My Baby Gets What She Deserves. This happened when my daughter was about 4 months. Let's meet the wonderful and not so wonderful cast. Me BB daughter M. Entitled Mom Beast. Eb. Entitled Mom Beast Spawn. 5-ish. Setting. Local coffee shop. One afternoon after our mommy and me yoga class. I know sounds dumb, but a great way to meet mommy friends. Me and BB decided to get a coffee and catch up. Well, I would get coffee, she would get that sweet booby milk. Well, BB, lightweight that she is, passes out after that boob milk. I decide to be wild and get that second cup of coffee. I'm drinking my second cup of coffee when a wild ek and M appear ek. AWWWWW a bap AI point. I smile, but go back to reading the news and sipping my coffee. When I look up, Ek is trying to pick up my sleeping baby. I panicked, obviously. Me, yelling no M. OC wasn't hurting her Ek, whining I want to hold the baby I me. She's sleeping, and you're too little to hold her honey. She's heavy M. Oh, just let her hold her. Ek is very mature. Point me, she's not a baby doll. No M, you don't have to be a B asterisk TCH. Point me, excuse me. During this time Ek tried to pick up BB and woke her up. So BB starts crying. I pick her up and start hushing her. Me, now see what you did. Leave us alone. Point M. She just wants my daughter to hold her, tries to grab me. WTF get AWF, turns to keep BB away. BB cries M. Just let her hold her, keeps trying to steal baby. Me, help, open hand, punches her in the nose. At this point the coffee shop employees jump in and pull her away. One of them says that they called the police. M's nose is bleeding. Ek is sobbing. I kinda feel bad for the kid. She's pretty little, but her mom should teach her better. The employees ask us to stay and wait for police. M. But she assaulted me and traumatized my child. BB is still crying, so I give her that boob. M. She's exposing herself to a child pedophile. I ignore her, and BB finally calms down. The police came and asked us each what happened. M. She exposed her SELF to my daughter and assaulted me. Me. Scared that I'm going to jail. That isn't true. She tried to steal my baby. I just was protecting her. Luckily the coffee place had cameras. She got arrested for attempted kidnapping. I have to go to court for it next month. Edit. Thanks for the silver. Update. We go to court on April 14th for the criminal charges against him for attempted kidnapping. I didn't expect to update before then, but then this happened. Me. It's a me. DG. Deliver him and disguised guy M. Entitled Mom Egg. Entitled Kid. Me and BB went to the park this morning. We got back around 11 AM. There was a man standing on our porch, looking lost. BB was in her stroller sleeping. I put my hand in my purse and onto my mace. Me. Can I help you? DG. I'm looking for a first name, last name. I have a package for her. He pulls out an thick envelope. It was Cardi B level thick. Me. Her. I can take it. Takes the Cardi B envelope. As soon as it is in my hands and I sign for it, DG rips off his fake mustache and delivery guy hat, revealing his real identity. Illegal in turn. DG. Cool. You're being sued by the way. Good luck. Yup, that's right. I'm being sued by M. Why would the woman who tried to snatch my baby be suing me? How much damage could I have inflicted? Well, apparently I did $25,000 in damage. In this poor envelope was about 10 million pages detailing how she is suing me for everything that is wrong in her life. Apparently I had broken her nose, so she's suing me for not only related medical bills, but she also wants me to pay for them to fix her pre-existing toad nose. Oh, and of course emotional damages to her and her child. Apparently M has anxiety and depression because of me. Ek has PTSD from the indecent. Finally, I'm also being sued for slander and character assassination because how dare I say she tried to steal my baby. Of course at the end she said she would be willing to settle out of court if I would drop the criminal charges. Well, I took that letter to my lawyer and he said the judge would laugh her out of court, especially if the criminal trial goes in our favor, which is basically guaranteed. So I will be seeing her in court on April 14th, and I will see her again in July for the civil case. Edit. Thanks for the gold, my dude. M tried to steal my baby, goes to court. Update L. Firstly, thanks everyone for the support and love. I can't wait to tell BB about all of this when she gets older. Wednesday we found out the verdict on M. TLDR at end. So let's meet the cast. J. Judge. M. Entitled Mom. Ed. Entitled Dad. Ek. Entitled Kid. Jury. The jury. P. Prosecutor L. M's lawyer. Me. Mr. My darling husband. Scene. This chapter opens April 15th, 2019, approximately 9:30 AM. We are at our local courthouse. Me and Mr. had dropped a baby at his mother's. I had considered bringing her and breastfeeding while M was on the stand, just to irritate her, but I didn't think her 8-month-old would be able to sit quietly for that long. Instead I brought my 384-month-old husband. We went to the courthouse, and I will admit I was nervous. We took our seats behind the prosecutor, and we were chatting with her. M enters with her lawyer, and if looks could kill, I would be dead. The judge and jury enter, and we are ready to get started. As we are getting started, the judge is interrupted by Ed and Ek entering the courtroom, in possibly the nosiest way to enter a room. Disclaimer, these were 3 very long, very stressful days, so I will be paraphrasing a lot. J. M. You are charged with attempted kidnapping, first-degree assault, disturbing the peace, and disorderly conduct. How do you plead? M. Your Honor, I'm 100% innocent. In fact, I'm outraged that I stand accused of wrongdoing. I'm a proud American and the biggest supporter of these proud, fair and just. J. Looking already done with her shit, please sit down. M. Shocked B but. J. Now. M. Sits. J. We will now proceed to opening statements. Prosecutor. P. Lays out the case, succinctly explaining that M was a dangerous woman who attempted to rip a small baby from its mother's arms. M. Screaming no TH at ISNT true E. J. L. Tell M to be quiet. P. Continue. P. There is clear, indisputable evidence that M is guilty on all counts. The prosecutor wraps up his opening statement in under about 5 minutes, explaining that the whole situation was caught on tape and that the evidence will speak for itself. The defense's opening statement was about 40 minutes long. He gave this creature's whole life story. She couldn't possibly be guilty. She was your typical suburban soccer mom, president of her hoa, active in her church, blah blah blah. Apparently because the statements established character, they weren't off topic enough to make the judge tell L to shut up and sit down. L talked so long that after they concluded, the judge dismissed us for the day. We come back the second day, and before the trial start my husband goes and grabs us a cup of pure caffeine from a booth in the courthouse. He's putting his cream and sugar in it when Ed approaches. Ed, hey man, how are you doing, Mr. Fine. Ed, this whole mess is crazy. Mr. Yup. Ed, look man, what will happen to my daughter if her mom goes to jail? It's not good for a kid. Mr. Yeah, that's rough. Sorry. Ed, well you could tell your wife to drop the charges, you know, do what's best for the kids. Mr. Yeah, I'm not gonna do that. Ed, come on man, be reasonable. Mr. If your wife was reasonable, we wouldn't even be here. Ed, fuck you n asterisk 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 yeah. Mr. Get out of here man walks away. The second day of court starts. Prosecution lays out the evidence, including the tape, calls witnesses, and all that prosecution stuff. When the prosecution calls witnesses, or the defense also gets to ask them questions. They were trying to cast doubt on all of the witnesses, I guess to make it seem like it was all a witch hunt against entitled mom. Finally it was my turn to testify and be questioned. I told my story for the prosecution, then this foolishness ensued. L. It seems like you were the first to raise your voice. Would you say that is accurate? Me. I suppose so. L. So that would make you the instigator. Me. I don't think. L. Cuts me off. You claim that M assaulted you. Me. Yes. L. Did M strike you at any point during this altercation? Me. Well, not exactly strike. L. Did you strike M at any point? Me. Yes, but it was 2. L. The jury will notice that this woman has admitted to not only being the instigator, but also the aggressor in this situation. After the prosecution lays out their evidence, it is the defense's turn. It is at this point M takes the stand. M tells her twisted version of events. According to her, her daughter had seen my baby and had approached me to tell me how beautiful BB was. In response to this totally innocent interaction, I began verbally abusing Ek. She attempted to calm me, but this backfired. When I violently snatched up BB, she couldn't help but notice that it was very unlikely that BB was mine. Seeing an unstable woman snatching up an innocent, probably kidnapped BB, M just had to intervene. When she did, I viciously attacked her. So day 3 is verdict and sentencing. On the charge of attempted kidnapping, the jury decided that there was not enough evidence to conclude that she wanted to kidnap BB. Not guilty. On the charge of assault, the jury was not convinced by her lawyer's attempts to demonize me guilty. Disturbing the peace and disorderly conduct, the tapes and witnesses lead to a guilty verdict. Now we get to the part you all have been waiting for: sentencing. M was sentenced to 18 months of probation, 40 hours of community service, 30 hours of anger management, and $730 in fines. This all goes on her criminal record, and if she violates her probation or does not do what is required, she will spend those 18 months in prison. While I know many of us were hoping for jail time, I'm satisfied with this outcome, and I think it is fair. We left feeling pretty good. We have to go back to court in a few months for the civil case. TLDR, court was long and boring. Ed made racist statements to my husband. L tried to make me look like a demon and M like a saint. The charges / verdicts for M were assault / guilty, disorderly conduct / guilty, disturbing the peace guilty, attempted kidnapping / not guilty. She was sentenced to 18 months of probation, 40 hours of community service, 30 hours of anger management, and $730 in fines. This all goes on her criminal record, and if she violates her probation or does not do what is required, she will spend those 18 months in prison. entitled Bible Thumping Aunt Steals an Inbox Set I Told Her Son He Couldn't Borrow. Then she gets upset when the cartoon isn't age appropriate. Update S. As the name suggests, this is an update. For the full story, you can check out the original post here. It's been an interesting week. My aunt stole my Solita box set after I told her son he couldn't borrow it. She then called me a few hours later claiming that I was trying to corrupt her baby boy. From what my uncle told me, she had intended on returning it with the other DVDs my cousin, her son, had borrowed. But after watching the first episode of Solita, she planned on throwing it out. Thankfully, this is where my uncle stepped in. For years, the man has been rescuing wicked items from his wife and returning them to his nieces and nephews. Earlier tonight, he stopped by and returned my pilfered box set along with the other DVDs. He apologized for my aunt and promised it wouldn't happen again. Even so, I still don't want her in my apartment. I told him that I didn't feel comfortable lending them movies. But I also told him about Crunchyroll accounts and he said he'd tell my cousin. So now, the kid can enjoy anime and his mother won't step foot into my apartment. I know the conclusion wasn't very exciting, but I got my discs back and that's all I wanted. I'm currently binging episodes of Solita and I don't plan on stopping anytime soon. When I originally typed it out, I was angry and just trying to vent. I had no idea this was going to blow up. Thank you all for taking the time to read the post and this update.